Luonnon monimuotoisuutta uhkaavat monet tekijät, ja meidän kaikkien on sopeuduttava täysin uusiin tilanteisiin ja olosuhteisiin ilmastonmuutoksen vaikutusten takia. Keinot tämän kehityksen pysäyttämiseen ovat usein hampaattomia ja suunniteltu vain kaikkein harvinaisimpien elinympäristöjen ja lajien suojeluun. Suojelu aiheuttaa usein kiistoja, koska ympäristön ja taloudelliset edut asetetaan vastakkain. Minkälaisia ratkaisuja ehdottaa ensimmäinen finalistitiimimme? Tervetuloa lavalle Markku Ollikainen ja Minna Pekkonen sekä Biodiversity Now.
Welcome to the Helsinki Challenge Flight 2015. Fasten your seatbelt. Imagine. We are flying on an ecosystem plane that consists of hundreds and thousands of parts, living organisms that interact and secure a safe flight for all of us. All parts are needed for the plane to fly, though some rivets can be lost every now and then. You wouldn't even notice. My question to you is, how many parts of our plane are you willing to throw away and still hop aboard? We do not live alone on this planet. Actually, our very existence depends on the other inhabitants. Diverse life forms on this planet interact. And these interaction networks we biologists call ecosystems. Ecosystems provide us basically almost everything. Air, food, water, all nature-based materials we use. What worries me, our team, and should worry all of you in the audience, is the fact, science-based fact, that the biodiversity is decreasing globally at an alarming rate. And I wish it would worry also those people a bit, but anyway, so we are losing biodiversity. What should we do? I'm not talking about places somewhere far away, the forest fires in Indonesia. It's awful, but the biodiversity is decreasing also here in Finland, where forests still cover much of the land. One of the major reasons for biodiversity loss is land use. We use land, we change natural areas to farmland, we do mining, we build houses, roads, we meet the human needs. And the global population growth is not making this human need for land any less. We need to stop biodiversity destruction. Why? Losing species is like dicing with disaster. As ecosystem responses are, to some extent, unpredictable and potentially catastrophic. We have to do this now. Luckily, some parts of biodiversity, the most valuable parts in many countries, are protected by legislation and regulation. But unfortunately, that is not enough. The more common nature we still use on everyday basis, we destroy it. So we need new mechanisms, new innovations, new approaches. And what our team suggests is that we would establish a biodiversity compensation market where stakeholders, which would include firms, landowners, citizens, you, me, we all take initiative and responsibility for securing the biodiversity for future. But During this Helsinki Challenge competition, we have been interviewing some of our key stakeholders. Let's hear what Lauri Kivekäs, the managing director from Ruudus company, has to say to politicians and other companies.
There's only very few politicians in our parliament that ever even mention biodiversity. And so absolutely they have to start talking about it and doing something about it. I believe that absolutely, so the companies must come along and the politicians must come along.
So yes, we agree with Lauri. We really need everyone in this. But how does this biodiversity compensation market actually work? That's why I have the economist of our team with me here on stage. So please, Markku, explain in more detail.
Indeed, Minna. To make the market work, we need companies, landowners, and an intermediary. The idea of the market is very, very simple. Whenever a firm destroys biodiversity in its work, it needs to buy an improvement in biodiversity elsewhere to compensate for the damage that it has caused. So the companies enter the market as demanders. The landowners, they invest in biodiversity, they produce compensations and sell them to companies. And the trading is based on science-based rules, so that when a firm buys a compensation, it knows that it really compensates for the damage it is meant. And of course, prices will emerge. The role of intermediary is to make the market smooth. Intermediary is an active dealer. It deals with firms, landowners, and it makes contracts. It keeps an open database using an internet-based platform so that every landowner gets hints for investments and companies find where to buy offsets. So the Habitat Bank, which is the intermediary, will create monetary value and biodiversity value at the same time. So it is earning by dating. Landowners, like you there, a city dweller who have inherited forest, want to have some revenue but do not want to cut it. This is the source of income for you. Or Minna, your father is a farmer. The farmer could take a part of the land and restore there a traditional biotop and receive farm revenue. And by doing this, landowners learn how to better and better improve biodiversity. So we say they are earning by learning. And the companies, they earn by paying. I really say, they earn by paying. But why? Have we discovered perpetuum mobile? No, we haven't. But this is the thing. Currently, firms have high costs when they have to avoid biodiversity damages. So having compensations immediately decreases costs. And at the same time, their business reputation increases and their sales will increase. So they are earning by paying. We think that this is a marvelous solution. And so thinks Minister of Agriculture and Environment, Kimmo Tiilikainen.
This can be really additional new method and create value added for protection, for protecting biodiversity.
There you go. So we see a huge potential for jobs and new innovations here.
Yes, indeed. There is huge potential. We have, at the moment, over 2,200 threatened species in Finland only. According to recent national assessment, 60% of our ecosystems are degraded. So there is potential for biodiversity improvement, really.
But Minna, there are 600,000 landowners, 400 firms. Once we get this compensation market to work, it provides proper incentives to find the creative solutions for biodiversity. Actually, we estimate that the market may be huge. It may have a turnover almost or up to €1 billion. So, and that is much. But, the big but. Of course, every new idea has to be tested. We already have companies and landowners who have said that they will take the action. But we need a real-life proof. Therefore, we need to pilot the habitat bank, to pilot the idea. We need to know whether firms really are willing to pay for compensations, landowners really can restore biodiversity in their lands, and that the compensation market is socially acceptable. Furthermore, we need experience of how to run the habitat bank with a portfolio of assets so that no net loss of biodiversity takes place. Habitat Bank is the core of the whole pilot.
And we want to do it as soon as possible. There's not really time to wait. And hopefully, in the near future, we will have certificated biodiversity compensated business here in Finland and then later on also abroad. And we know that this is kind of a big task to do, a lot of work. Luckily, we are not doing this alone.
Indeed, we have several companies, research organizations, ministries, investment banks cooperating with us. And our team, we combine economics, biology, politics, and law studies. So we are a highly motivated team, and we passionately think that our course is relevant and very, very urgent. Furthermore, we have high political support. Listen to this.
I really wish that we can start testing this and get this experience, and I see a lot of potential in this kind of new attitudes.
We happily agree with the minister.
Finland has promised to stop biodiversity loss by 2020. If we fail, well, let me show you the emergency exits there. It's a big challenge. And to overcome challenges as biodiversity loss, we need new approaches. Habitat Bank is an important and accelerating part of our solution. By working all together, we can really save biodiversity and secure the life conditions for us and for future generations. Without biodiversity, we would not be. We are Team Biodiversity Now. Thank you for flying with us.